Superstars, what's going on? This is Coach Wood, and we are locked and loaded, you guys, for another amazing episode of the Weekday Huddle with Coach Wood. Thank you for stopping by the channel. I never take for granted when you guys decide to spend some time with me. I never take it for granted. So thank you for stopping by the channel. If you're joining us for the first time, I am your host, Coach Wood. Excited that you have found us finally, especially if you are a football player, a parent of a football player, guardian, a coach, or a fan of this beautiful game. I'm so glad that you finally found our channel. So if you like the content that you get a chance to check out today, please make sure that you consider hitting that subscribe button. We are so close, you guys. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, fighting, scratching, clawing to get to that mark. And that would be beautiful for us to hit that. And kudos to you. Kudos to you if you have already subscribed or if you have even referred for somebody to subscribe to our channel. So kudos to our community, and we are about to get after it. We got a great topic as always to cover with you guys. We want to help our athletes and their families navigate this thing because the football industry has never been so tricky as it is today. So we want to really help you guys navigate this thing with some success. Also, down in the description box, we've got some resources that are ready to go for you guys. We're going to be updating those soon because a new class is about to move through, but we've got some great resources for you guys to take advantage of as well. So let's get into today's Weekday Huddle topic, you guys. Always trying to bring something that's practical and that you guys can take to the bank. So sometimes it's good to reverse engineer things. You know, you want to find out how something works, or you want to find out how somebody got to where you want to go. Sometimes it's good, you guys, to reverse engineer things. I'm married. I've been married for almost 23 years now, which is wild to say. And sometimes I gotta reverse engineer what my wife wants out of me so that I stay in good graces, so that coaches is not on the couch. I gotta reverse engineer some things, you guys. So in this case, I want to give you guys some insight, and I want to reverse engineer the thinking of a Power 4 Group of 5 college football coach today, a college football recruiter, somebody that has to make decisions. Maybe it's even the GM or the player personnel person, but I want to reverse engineer their thinking for you today so that if you're a young athlete or you're a parent or family member of a young football player that's maybe at the high school level, the junior college level, and now they're trying to get that D1 scholarship or that D2 scholarship or that PWO. I want you guys to have some insight into the thought process on why they choose certain players. Okay? Does that sound good? Because then maybe it will help take some of the emotions out of it. Because at the end of the day, you guys, this is just business. By no means are these coaches, these player personnel people, these GMs making the right decision 100% of the time. By no means. If that was the case, we would never have the Kurt Warners of the world. If that was the case, Tom Brady wouldn't have went until the end of the draft. Josh Allen wouldn't have had to go to junior college. Aaron Rodgers wouldn't have had to go to junior college. If that was the case. Chad Ochocinco, so there is no exact science to this recruiting thing, and it's trickier and tougher now more than ever with the emergence of the transfer portal for the high school kid. So I want to give you some insight into how the college coaches think about things. Now, if I'm a college coach, especially in today more than ever, group of five and God, Lord knows, power four, you're judged off of every single recruiting decision, off of every rivalry game, off of every time you don't make it to a bowl or to the playoffs. You're judged on a year by year basis. And this, my dad used to say it, and I'm sure he got the saying from someone, but it's a what have you done for me lately business. We don't remember that you won a national championship back in the day. We just lost to our rival 64 to 10. So it's a what have you done for me lately business. So you young athletes entering this business and you see the NIL dollars, you see the charter flights and the nice sweatsuit, realize that you're judged on a year by year basis, and it's what have you done for me lately. I don't want to hear what you did last year. I want to hear what you did for me lately. And the coaches are definitely judged in that manner, you guys. So if I'm a coach and let's say I'm at North Carolina or let's say I'm at Clemson, let's say I'm the OC or the DC, I'm a highly paid position coach. I like my job. I'm the GM. I just saw the GM at the University of Texas with Sark is getting paid over $1 million a year. You don't think he's held to a high standard as far as who they bring in and out the doors at the University of Texas? Yes, he is. He's staying up late at night making sure that they can have access to the top recruits and the top portal kids in the country. So if I'm someone that is sitting back with that much pressure on me, to make sure that we bring in the best of the best to compete against these other big time programs and not look crazy, and to make sure that we find our way to a big time bowl game or to the playoffs, then I have to try my best to recruit kids that have something I can hang my hat on. That have something I can hang my hat on. What does hang my hat on mean, Coach Wood? It means that if someone was to do the data on me, to do the fact finding and look back at the recruits that I brought in, they could say, okay, even though that person didn't pan out, or even though that person wasn't a superstar, I could see why he thought they would be, or I could see why we brought that kid in. Something that you can hang your hat on. That's what these recruiters have to have now, especially if I bypassed an older player, bypassed a kid that I've seen do it at the college level on film via the transfer portal. If I'm gonna turn my attention away from that and take this high school or junior college kid, I gotta have something that I can hang my hat on. Because if I bring in this high school or junior college kid, especially if they're not highly ranked, and he doesn't pan out, people are gonna say, well, you deserve to lose your job. Why didn't you go in the portal and get an older kid? Why didn't you go in the portal and get somebody that has proven they can do it at this level? Somebody that was ready to play. Why didn't you do that? You deserve to get let go. So if I'm a recruiter today, a college coach today, a player personnel, a GM, especially at the highest level, you guys, once again, you have to put your emotions out of it. Because a lot of times we are good players. We're good players in high school or junior college. And you're thinking, why haven't I got my shot? Why are they going with those older players that don't really care like I care? Well, you have to understand their thinking to get the answer to that question. And their thinking is my job is on the line. And if my job is on the line, I would rather put my job and my kids' private school and the nice house my family's in, I would rather put that in the hands of an older kid than a kid fresh out of high school or junior college. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to go with the kid out of high school or junior college, but if I do, I definitely need something to hang my hat on. And in the football industry, there's certain things that are tried and true that help ease the decision of someone that is deciding who to give the money to, who to give the scholarship to, who to give the NIL dollars to. There's things that people can hang their hat on that make sense in the industry. And a perfect example is size. Is size. If I'm looking for an offensive tackle and I'm going to turn my attention away from the transfer portal and these kids from these D2 schools and these FCS schools and the other FBS programs. If I'm going to turn my attention away from their film and give an opportunity to this high school or junior college kid, then I can make sense to the coaching staff that we should give it to this high school or junior college kid if he has size that we can't find or that we're not seeing in the portal. If this kid has size, he's 6'6", he's 6'7", then that makes sense. That's something I can hang my hat on as a reason to turn to the high school kid or the junior college kid over the portal kid. And I'm talking about the schools mainly at the Power 4 level, because a lot of you kids got your eyes on these schools at the Power 4 level. You want to go to Texas, you want to go to Ohio State, you want to go to Colorado, my alma mater. Well, this is the mindset of Darius Box, the guy who's making a lot of the decisions at my alma mater, like you see in the helmet right there. So I can go with the high school kid or the junior college kid that's 6'6", 6'7", because the kid that we were going to probably get out of the portal, his film is so. It's college level film, but it's so, and he's only 6'4". So we'll take a chance with him. Something I can hang my hat on. What's something else, coach, that somebody can hang their hat on with a high school, junior college kid that maybe may make them go over the kid in the portal? If you're highly ranked, let's call a spade a spade. If a kid is a 5-star, a 4-star recruit, then that's telling you that he's supposed to be something at the college level, and they'll go with the 5 or 4-star young kid over maybe a kid in the portal. What's another thing that you can hang your hat on? If I've gotten kids from this school before that have been dogs, and the coach maybe is telling me that, hey, this is the guy, and I really, really trust this coach, then maybe I can hang my hat on that. I'm getting this kid out of Mater Dei. I'm getting this kid out of IMG or St. Thomas Aquinas. And even though he's a high school kid, this coach that I've done business with year after year is telling me that, hey, if you like the other one that you took, you're really going to like this one. I can hang my hat on that. So if anybody replays the tape or if anybody looks at my recruiting receipts and says, man, this kid didn't really pan out, who brought this kid in? And then they ask me, well, why'd you bring him in? Hey, Coach Sullivan, who we've always gotten dogs from, said that he was a dog, and I don't know what happened. Or, hey, this kid's 6'6", 6'7". We didn't have anybody else in our offensive line room that was 6'6", 6'7". So we gave him a shot. Another thing is that somebody can hang their hat on is sometimes there's some legacy pedigree. We had a young man, and we're going to get into his story here soon, because it's a great illustration of how a father strategically got after his son's recruiting and then leveraged our program. And he's a dear friend of mine to get his son to a Power 4 university. But shouts out Hannibal Carter. We're going to share his recruiting journey soon. But his dad is a former 8-9-year NFL player. So if I've got a kid with some size, his son has size. He just signed to Arizona as a safety. He's about 6'2", 6'3". So if my kid has some size, maybe he doesn't have all the stars of these other kids, or maybe he's not coming out the portal, but he has some size, and everybody knows his dad played in the league for a number of years, almost a decade. So that's something I can hang my hat on. I'm thinking apple tree. I'm thinking his dad was something. Good chance that this kid's going to be something. Even though he's not a 5 or a 4-star, he's like a 3-star. I'm going to go with him over this kid in the portal. because he's got size and his dad was one hell of a player. I can hang my hat on that. So you guys have to keep that in mind. You may be wondering why your options are delayed. You may be wondering why this kid got it over you. Well, what are you giving a recruiter that he can hang his hat on? Are you playing at a school that is tried and true, a high school or a junior college? Do you have elite size? Here's another one. Do you have elite speed? Because somebody may say, man, why'd you bring in this high school kid over this portal kid that we could have got? Well, that kid runs 10.3 and 100. He runs 10.2 and 100. Oh, okay. So that you can hang your hat on that. So it doesn't mean it's gonna pan out, and it doesn't mean that he was better than the other kid that they didn't choose. But you can hang your hat on, and nobody's gonna say you were crazy if you gave a kid with 10.3, 10.2 speed a shot. Nobody's gonna say you're crazy. Nobody's gonna say you're crazy if you give a kid a shot that his dad was Emmitt Smith. Nobody's gonna say you're crazy. So, at the end of the day, unless your film is just above and beyond and you're a 5 or a 4 or a high 3-star regarded kid, then you all have to find your angle to get your opportunity to go to the dance, to play at a high level of college football. Some of you may have to start at a lower level and move your way up. That's okay, because when you make it, the cream always rises. And when you make it, they got to pay you. But if you want it out of high school or you want it out of junior college and you're not the 5, 4-star kid and you're trying to find your way just to get 1 or 2, then you got to give them something they can hang their hat on. Okay? Because all of these coaches have to account for who they're recruiting and who they bring in, especially if it doesn't work out. They have to account for who they're bringing in, especially also if they're deciding to say no to the portal kid for the high school or the junior college kid. You got to give them something to hang their hat on, baby. All right, so think about that. So you know how to sell yourself, or whoever is helping pitch you knows how to sell you. Is, hey, coach, you can hang your hat on the fact that I just ran a 10.4 and 100. I just ran 10.3 on the 100. You can hang your hat on the fact, coach, that I'm all state in 2 different sports. You can hang your hat on, coach, that my dad was an All-American and was a first-round draft pick. That's leverage. That's leverage. So keep that in mind, you guys. This is a business. It's no different than you being a young actor trying to get your foot in the door in Hollywood and your mom's Jennifer Aniston. Your dad's Denzel Washington. That's something that somebody that's going to put you in a role in a movie over someone that might be a little bit more tenured, a little bit more seasoned. They can say, oh, yeah, I put them in a role because that's Jennifer Aniston's daughter. So, what can they hang their hat on? Keep that in mind, you guys. And also, please make sure you go down in the description box and check out what we have for you. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're bringing the best content in the game for you young football players out there. I'm Coach Wood. We'll see you at the top.